I am Langunda, and I'll be doing my I'll be doing a series of programs looking at discussions, etc. etc. 2019, new beginning, new discussion. You know, a lot of people are out there putting things out. So I decided to weigh myself in as well. You know, what I mean, put a few things in. A lot of important people all out there. I have to say thanks to them as well. Some in Australia, here in the States as well. You know, England, Europe, name a few places. Um, Background, engineering, uh, electrical engineering, all the way up to PhD. Done a lot of things, and we'll be looking at a few things. Sometimes I plan to have a lot of discussion. It can be politics, whatever comes up. We can look at what the science says about it, what the mathematics says about it. We can look at what the history says about it. It ties everything in. I like to go to the source of everything. That's me, and get to the bottom of it. No nonsense, etc. Some of the things I've wrote a couple of articles in engineering, and one other thing I'll be looking at. I strongly believe in mathematics. I've done a lot of work, and I've produced mathematical formulas. There's nothing here. The things that I'll be looking at this year, I plan to look at things within the power electronics industry, solar system, etc. And we'll look at some of the things that are out there. I like to bring the maths to the table. The differential equation that I regard myself with heavily is this one. This one is very powerful. A lot of things in the industry operates off this equation. G itself is the function of that under the differential. This have made me what I am. I've done solutions to this when the x is solvable to a certain degree over certain periodic period, certain time. That is if we decided what t probably is, if t is equal to m a. This is not a physics formula. This is not physics. A represent time, and big T represent the total time based upon the operation. The operation can be many operation in terms of simulations, in terms of modulation. I done a lot of work in modulation where we looked at the PWM, very popular thing out there. PFM, another complex modulation. This one represents the frequency, and this one is the width of the modulation. I've also done a lot of research work on those as well. And another one, which is very rarely talked about, is the PFWM. It's a combination of both. I've done some work on that, done some simulation from the converters, power systems, switch mode. I've done work based upon all three, their effectiveness. This one I've developed a patent, registered, power electronics, using pulse width, pulse frequency modulation, excuse me. And for a particular convert switch mode system, where this allows the system to generate soft switching on the transistor. Transistors have switching habits, which some of them are rectifiable. We have some of them are rectifiable. There's some transistors when they're in the on state, it's T, and when they're on, they have what's this little spike here. This is what we call hard switching. Hard switching is it's called a lot of power loss. It's allowed the system efficiency to be not sufficient enough for certain systems, especially aerospace, military industries, etc. The key is to make this as small as possible, right? To make it as small as possible. And I myself has done some work here to reduce that problem on transistors, which there are different methods. Their resonant frequency, very complicated and difficult to stabilize, because it has to be all of that based upon control systems. So even the differential equation has to be performed on the control system in a sense. Those are some of the things I'll be looking at for 2019 and beyond. And I will be looking at other things too. Is there some other things I'm looking at? You know what I mean? Historical stuff, which I interact with my associates, and we look at various things on the side, and you know, extend we try to look at it in depth. So those are some of the things I'll be looking at, and as well as we showing you a lot of solutions. A lot of people out there solving these questions, but none of them has never solved where this constant M, based upon a switch mode time frame, as showing the solution for this. But I will show you here full solution. It's very complex, but I will show you how the differential equation full solution, not based upon ordinary, the general solution, but an overall entire solution to the system. Very complex equation, and it regulates with the solution of this, if it's in the switch mode, based upon with the time and what state X is, we can find what it's doing over any period of time based upon the solution of this. See, I put a question sign here, and it's going to be applied. The solution's going to be either within effect with the PWM system or the PFM system, or we can look at the PFWM system, pulse frequency with modulation combination. Here, this one is really created using a system called sample and hold. Some of you engineers know that sample and hold produces this one. This one don't need a sample and hold, and this one is basically an independent independent system on its own. So you set the time and it runs. But this one uses to find the pulse width. It has to use the results, the feedback in the console system from the system itself. So this one is more regulated by the differential equation, not this one. This one is basically a separate and apart, introduced within the system. This one is basically integrated within the system. New stuff, modern technology, a lot of things will be effectively working on this. This mimic what's ever happening to the system over a certain time period. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and this is for entertainment purposes and education, and it's a blog for people. We're gonna learn. It's the year of learning, the year of sharing. Have a good one, and Happy New Year again, 2019, beyond and above. Keep it real. All right. Bless.